Hey y'all, what's up? No one's here yet, but I told you guys I will come right back with this video for Belle Collective. Belle Collective, which I know I'm like a day late or whatever, but not too bad, I would say. It's actually based on this week, y'all. Oh my god. Mm-mm. Um, it's been busy. If you were watching my video, that I just got off with my recap and review for this week's episode of Life After Lockup, and you'll know that this week has been busy, busy, and I'm just glad to be finally relaxing, and that's why I'm not going to be on camera because I look like Husha John, and yeah, so I'm not really looking to want to show my face right now, but I wanted to still give you guys this video, of course, and you can follow me on my socials are at the bottom right there. On Instagram, it's Barb Meets World _. I've been a little bit more active on TikTok, so you can catch me there at Barb Meets World. I'm always on Twitter, so you can catch me at Barb Meets World on there. Um, yeah, so definitely check me out on there so you can stay up to date, as well as if you're not, subscribed, definitely subscribe. Don't forget to like the video on your way in, of course. It's always appreciated. It lets everybody know I'm live. But yeah, um, we're gonna get into it because I'm actually starving and I would like to go get something to eat. Um, yeah, I would like to go and get something to eat. So we're gonna have to just, kind of move through this. And yeah, let's get right on into it, shall we? So this week, this episode, was season 2, episode 2, and it's entitled "Got a Meeting in the Men's Room." In the men's room, okay, and that's exactly where the festivities led to later on in this episode. If you watched it, we pick right back up with Letitia and Glenn. He's still denying that this baby is his, and he still keeps lacing his statements with the whole "I'm not perfect, I'm still working on myself," and da 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 da, which translates to me that this is just an excuse for your poor behavior. Like whenever someone has to like add in like messages and slogans like that, it just tells me that that's just an excuse for you, just an excuse for when you do fuck up. Like that's just tells me that that you're gonna potentially do something in the future that's gonna piss me off, or be messed up. So you just want to throw that in there now so that your feet can't be held to the fire later on. And I think that that is BS. So at this point, I'm just like, Letitia, you've been with him since you're 17, or you guys been together like over 20 years or whatever the heck. At this point, he's not going to change because you have allowed him to get away with this behavior time and time again. And just like I said in my episode last week, at the end of the day, I feel like she's only bigging this up so much this time because of the fact that there was a potential baby. And that would show that she's been okay with this type of behavior or whatever. Like, if there was no baby, that hey Joseph, I'm so glad you're back. I'm so glad you are back to join me. I just got started, so you didn't miss nothing. I'm glad to have you back. But yeah, I'm just talking about like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it just seems as though, Letitia's just kind of bigging this up because the fact that there was a baby out there, which, at this point, it shows that, okay, if he did have a baby, then that would mean, and you didn't say anything about that, then that would mean that you're okay with how he's doing you. But when there was no talk of a baby, there was no physical proof of him cheating or doing you dirty or whatever, Like it was all, you know, just swept on the rug. It was what it was. You just let him come and go and do, you know, what he wanted as he pleased. And just because there's a baby possibly in the mix now is the only reason why it's such a problem. Um, I don't, I can't get with that. And I'm just like, at this point, he's not going to change, you know. And then he even went on to say he's reached out several times over the years for a DNA test, and that unbeknownst to her. So I'm just like, okay, so that's another strike to me. Like, so you didn't even think, oh, I should tell my wife that this is going on. No, you just were trying to keep this under wraps. You're just trying to do your thing over, you know. He doesn't keep the lines of communication open, and that, if I was a teacher like that, that's a big no for me. Like you can't just be doing what you want to be doing, operating as a single individual, and then you want all my loyalty. You want me to, when you come home after 28 days out the week or whatever, you want me to bend over backwards and do this and do that and do, hell no. Hell no. This is an under I'm just like, this is an understanding that should have, you know, come years ago. Like, you guys have been together for how long, you know, and this is just now. Like, nah, I can't get with that. And he's all, you know, oh, I grew up without my father, and that's not gonna be my son or whatever. And I'm just like, huh, what's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to guilt her then by saying that? Are you trying to guilt her into being with you? Because last time I checked, no. Is that, you know, is you wanting to keep your family together wrong? No, but at the expense of, you know, your wife's trust and happiness and security and all that. Like, no, nope. Your son will be better off with you guys living in two separate households if that's how you're going to act. Because what type of example is that? Like, hell no. So then we switch over to Goddess Lengths. Latrice is, you know, she's dolled up. She says that she has a dinner later with Cliff, so she's looking all cute or whatever. And her employee Joshua's in there, and she kind of discusses how the store is just sold out. They just continue to sell out every single time. This is the flagship location, of course, but she does let us know, or at least Joshua lets us know, that I was actually happy seeing Letitia holding Glenn's feet to the fire. Meanwhile, he's making excuse after excuse. I am glad too, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie. I feel kind of like, okay, you're doing this right here in front of cameras. You're holding his feet to the fire in front of all of us, but you have to really hold him to that once these cameras go off, and not just for the simple fact that there's a potential baby or whatever, and just and also see proof. Don't just take his word for it. Don't just, you know, allow him to come in here and say, oh yeah, no, it's not or whatever, because he clearly can just tell you anything. He's been doing that for all these years. So don't just take his word for it at this point, you know. But, you know, she has my support for now. You know, I don't want to see her retrogress back into just letting him come in without showing some changed behavior, without actually showing physical proof that he is actually meaning what he says. Um, but as I was saying, over at Goddess Lengths, they've been having, you know, some issues with the water, with the lights, with the this, with the that. And with that being said, Latrice is she's outgrown this space, and she wants to go into, you know, a bigger space or whatever, that, you know, stuff isn't just getting all messed up and whatnot, which is fine. That's commendable. That's fine. That's all good. But when Cliff comes in, because apparently he was supposed to come over there and Ben fix the stuff or whatever, so he finally comes and catches up and actually fixes the stuff, which are just very simple fixes. um she's all like, oh, he can fix the sky and da da da, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's the idolization for me. I was just like, okay, let's just, I don't even want to do this with him right now. But he comes in, fixes the issues, or at least the water. I don't know if he fixed the heat issue or something. I think, yeah, they had something going on with the heat. I don't know if he fixed that, but she kind of talks about moving locations, and she, you know, she wants to stay in the hood. That's where she was bred, and that's where she's comfortable at. That's where she garners her the most support from. And I'm just kind of like, I don't see nothing wrong with that. You know, she wants to get back to her local community that she actually, you know, grew up in and stuff like that. I have no issues with keeping a location there. But of course, you want to turn this into, a chain, then continue to open up establishments, spread out, in a good amount of space in between, of course that's fine. I'm like, if there's no break-ins, if there's no, type of issues and stuff like that, then I think that's personally fine. You see celebrities and public figures and stuff like that doing that all the time. They go back to their old stomping grounds and open up, nail shops, or, bring activity centers and all types of places to where they're from and stuff like that. So I don't have an issue with that. But I mean, I kind of see his point too. If there's something else that's not being said, like if there's been like some type of issues or something like that. But um, she also discusses like the high tea and everything before turning to Letitia's brunch. Letitia has an upcoming brunch and she's invited all the ladies. And Latrice is asking Cliff if he thinks that she should go. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know, man. I'm always skeptical about the whole, do I get my husband's opinion on things? Of course. But last season, we kind of got a vibe that Cliff kind of be dictating certain stuff that Latrice kind of does or whatever, or he kind of lets his thoughts and feelings and stuff like that influence how she kind of moves and stuff like that, or he's always kind of like up her butt. So when she asked him, do you think I should go, it kind of brought me back like to, wait, are you asking him like truly because you want to know that he like you asking like for permission, or you just wanting to just simply know like his take on like the situation with you and Marie and all that? Like if it's that, then cool, but if it's like solely like for like on some permission type shit, nah, it's a negative, Ghost Rider, I'm good. So um I when I she was like, yeah, so I don't know, Tree might come out. You might have to bail me out of jail. Have my bail money ready. And I was just like, oh goodness, like, please don't you guys kick this back up, because and what is really sad about how everything unfolded between Latrice and Marie, it really makes me sad because a lot of it was the common denominator, the source of the issue. It all stemmed from Kaylon, who's not even on the show anymore. She was this person that was trying to cause a shitstorm in Marie's life, and it just really sucks that um she was able to cause this much turmoil between them two. Latrice keeping her location in the hood is okay for me, but she should at least consider expanding her horizon. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I'm cool with her keeping it there. Like, I get it. Like, I'm totally like okay with that. However, she should definitely look into branching out into not only places in the local area, of course, but throughout the state, as well as maybe right now she should probably look at some neighboring cities, and then obviously after that maybe she want to put one in Atlanta, maybe she want to put one in Houston, like maybe she you know you know that type of thing. I think that would be very, very good for her if she's trying to make this like a truly like international brand. So like I was saying, then we have a scene with Letitia and Marie. They go out to lunch, and that is taking place so that they can meet Tambra's friend Aikisha. So what do we think about Aikisha? It's only the first episode with her, so I don't want to go being like, oh, I don't like her or whatever, and without giving her a solid chance. But I'm not gonna lie when I say she slightly rubbed me a little bit wrong. She slightly kind of threw me off. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm here to tell the truth. So I say that because it quickly turned from a getting to know each other, kind of telling everybody our accolades and everything and what we got going on, to like a little bit of one-uppiness, if you ask me. It turned into a little bit of, okay, oh, so I've got a something to say about this, and oh, you're opening a clinic over here. Oh, well, my family is, they were the first people to do it, like, and it was a lot of like my family, and there's nothing wrong with her being proud of what the imprint that her family has made on in Jackson. Of course not. But I will say, like, because right off the bat, it wasn't even solely about like her own personal accomplishments. She came right off the bat with like saying something about like her husband stuff, and then it went to the family stuff, and it went to this and da da da. And so it was just like, I don't know, it just seemed very I was like, I don't know. It was like how it was delivered. I was just kind of like, I hope this is not how you're going to be for the duration of the season, but I'm kind of thinking it might be, especially once we get to Letitia's brunch. And I'm not the only person that thought that, because um Marie was kind of like, okay, this is interesting. Or was it, I don't remember if it was Marie or Letitia, I don't know. But they also kind of speak about before, I kind of jumped ahead, I'm sorry, but before Akeisha and Tambra even got there, I want to say Letitia and Marie kind of spoke about uh what's going on in Letitia's marriage right now, where Letitia finally admits that she's outgrown Glenn. And I was like, thank God for saying that, which is totally understandable. She's saying, he's still expecting that 17-year-old, like, that's like naive me or whatever. And she's outgrown that. She's a whole businesswoman out here. She's a whole mother. She's a whole, she's doing all these things. So no, he shouldn't be looking to you to be, that same person and stuff like that. And sometimes, yeah, people are put into your lives for reasons or seasons or, whatever the case. And maybe, yes, you guys just are on two different paths in life. And that's totally okay. So don't continue to try to fit yourself into this box that he needs you to be in. This is my main thing. But, whatever. And but just as quickly as she says that, then she's like, if it's true and it's genuine, then we can move forward. So it's just like, are you just doing that because of the history you guys share? And again, I'm never the type of person to be like, oh yeah, you guys have been together for 50 years, yeah, you have to stay together for 50 more. Like, no, if you have outgrown a person, or they are no longer serving you well in your life, and vice versa, then you guys need to cut your ties. And that's really just doing yourselves some good, because now you guys can be, the best parents you can be for your son, even if that means, being apart, of course. So when she said that, I was kind of like, oh, Letitia, like, come on, don't teeter and totter like that. So um I was kind of like, shout out to Marie though at the same time, because her stance on this was, all about recognizing your worth. And I'm just like, thank God at least one out of you two kind of did and were able to leave the situation, because Marie's not currently with what's her husband's name, I don't remember, but she's not with him right now, which is great. At least she has that going. That's one good thing I will say that's going in her life, of course. So, because she's got a lot on her back right now, going on. So at least she dropped the dead weight when it came to whatever her husband's name is. So then Akeisha, that's when she came in with Tambra, and she says basically that she was inspired by the whole Ferris Street project thing. And I'm like, I'm hoping that it wasn't just because of like the show or anything like that. I'm hoping that this is always something she want to do and stuff like that. But again, who am I? I'm not from there. I'm not the police of um this whole freaking Ferris Street project or anything like that. I'm nobody to tell anybody that they can't jump on it or anything like that. But I just hope it wasn't. It's truly because she has intentions on um, coming together with these other stakeholders and actually doing what needs to be done to actually bring the street back. Akeisha Holly Colton, she lets us know she is the real queen of Jackson. And I was just like, okay, girl. Okay. Okay. Her husband, I guess he's like a retired NFL player. He played for at least 10 years, I want to say, she said. And her family members are very well known in the community, which they're closely linked to, the music and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, that's cool. She owns land as well as a building on Ferris Street. So she's already kind of a step ahead of anybody we've spoken to or spoken about um, with this whole thing. I would hate for Letitia to turn into the for the relationship history or the for the kids type of person to save her marriage with Glenn. That's what I'm saying. Because you don't want to hold on to something that is not um prospering just for the sake of time or, you know, whatever type of ties and stuff like that, familial ties. Like you don't want to do that because you would be so much better off. I've seen it. I've seen it. You know, you don't want to hold on to it just for those reasons. So thanks for leaving that comment because that's totally true. Where was that? And I'm not gonna say, I know Tambra's the one that said it, but Akeisha didn't really like refute it when she saw like, oh yeah, she was the pretty girl gang in high school, and I was just like, hopefully she outgrew that, but I don't know. But based on the energy and that she was given throughout this episode, I, I don't know. I don't know. I hope I don't know. So she says, they're currently in NJ, and I'm like, yes. I'm a Jersey girl, so I was like, okay. And they have a beer garden in the Bronx, and so she wants to open one here in her hometown. So, as I said before, Marie's kind of cautious of Akeisha at this point, and because talking about her businesses and talking about this, and talking about that, and she's saying everybody else's resume and all types of stuff. So I'm just like, okay, girl. And I'm just like, I hope she's not just like one of those people that just, I don't know. I don't know anything about her, obviously. So I'm like, I hope she's not just validating herself like through like her family and her husband's like accomplishments or anything like that. Because when I say like it just got really one uppy, I was just like, this is annoying. Anyway, and then we go to a scene with. Hold on. I would like to have known these fun facts about Akeisha later in the season, but she came in laying her full resume down like it was a job. Exactly. Like it wasn't like it was no flow to it. It was just kind of very just like one uppy. Like I don't know if there's another word for it. It just wasn't those are those types of things I feel like that should just flow off the tongue naturally in the moment and stuff like that. But it just didn't really just flow with the conversation. It just got I don't know. It just got very off-putting for me. So, yeah, that was definitely right on the money as far as how I felt about it. But after this whole sit down with them, we get another sit down with Marie and her mom. And some people on Twitter were kind of saying like, oh, like they kind of had their own thoughts on how like, oh, like this was kind of like an exploitation type thing and people just do anything to like for a storyline, stuff like that. And I was like, I don't think that as much just because she said her mom like came to live with her and that this is about following these women's lives and stuff like that. So this is really something she kind of deals with on a daily basis. And I honestly like do not believe that Marie is fabricating anything as far as like just the weight of all the stuff that she's carrying in her life as it pertains to other people around her. So I don't think that this was just her. I don't think she who would want to have um that's nothing to like glorify or anything like that, having a parent, family member, or anything like that who's on who's going through their addiction and stuff like that. Like no, so I don't think that she would do that. She would just want to bring this on here just because she has enough going on in her life that she does not need to add this to it just for another addition to a storyline. Like totally don't no, for real. If you say you're have a great day, Akeisha would probably say she's having an even better day than you. Like it's not a competition. Exactly. It's just like, oh yeah, you did this. Like okay, but my great uncle's cousin's friend's sister's wife's ex husband's auntie, yeah, they were actually the first people to do that. Just around the corner here, they were the first person to open up a bodega down there on the corner. But that's cool. Like I'm glad that you were able to do that for yourself. Like it was just like it was weird, and it wasn't even all just about her. It was like all stuff that was also associated to like other people in her life, or her husband, or her grandfather, or this person or that person. So it was just kind of like I don't know. It was I didn't like it, but yeah, Marie and her mom, she's staying with her for 3 months now. She's been on drugs since Marie was 8, and she's relapsed just as the last time she relapsed, I think, was like a week or two ago. When she disappeared, and that's when Marie was like, "Where'd you go?" And she came back. I was talking about shit, like cutting her head and was looking all disheveled, I guess. And her mom was kind of like coming at the angle from like, "Oh, I'm a victim of this addiction and stuff like that type thing." And I I don't know. Everybody I feel like has their own personal opinions about like addiction and like is it a voluntary or involuntary thing. And um yeah, there's always going to be like a conflicting view on, I feel like, that subject. And that's why I say I think her mom was kind of taking the like it involuntarily overtook me type stance on it. But I'm at least glad that Marie was able to sit and you know get some type of, they're actively working on the relationship, hopefully. But I'm honestly thinking that she should just put her in rehab, because I feel like this is going to keep happening. It's going to be like every other week she's going to fall back into that or whatever, if she's not learning that the proper tools to actually overcome this. I think she really needs to put her in um a program. um and also at this moment there was like some, like, I don't know if it's just me or my TV, but there was like a weird editing like moment real quick where like Marie was like saying something in the confessional, but then it like just quickly shifted over to it like cut the words off or something. It was weird. Trying to, and I was just like, that this will also lessen like all these mistakes and stuff like that, because she keeps, she kept saying throughout that conversation kind of like, oh, like, you can't make mistakes when you're or she was like, I made a mistake and stuff like that. And I'm like, I totally get that, but at the same time I think that there would be the likelihood of you making these types of same mistakes over and over again will be lessened if you potentially get into a program. Their matching earrings were kind of like cute. They both had like these heart earrings, so I was kind of like, oh, I noticed weird stuff like that. Sorry. But then we get to the brunch, y'all. We get to the brunch, and this is another thing too. I don't know if you caught this, Joseph, but when as soon as Mrs. Akeisha walked in, she was all like, "Oh, this is a small brunch or something like that." Like with the shade right off the bat. Needless to say, yes, was the environment of the brunch kind of lacking. It kind of was. I feel like the one last I want to say, yeah, the ones last season were like bigger and like kind of like made a little bit more sense with the room. But this was just this long ass table right in the middle of the room. It kind of left, a little bit to be desired. But nonetheless, this is somebody, this is her event. You're trying to come into this group of women and stuff like that. Like, why you got to come in with the shade, sis? Like, why? Just relax. Jeez. So, um, I lost my spot. I'm sorry. Um, and then okay, so then all the ladies, file in, file in, file in. Oh, what's? It's great that Marie's mom acknowledges the fact she has a problem, but she just has to want better for herself. Maybe rehab with some therapy would be a great start for her. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, just she needs some structure. I think she needs some structure, and that'll, I feel like, allow her to, I think she's kind of missing like some purpose. She probably kind of is a little displaced, or I don't know what Marie kind of has her doing other than she's like kind of just, is she just kind of like staying there and then she's kind of just hanging out her day or whatever. I know she said something about she's been like, cleaning up after her and stuff like that and whatnot. But I think to really get her, I think, yeah, rehab, some good therapy, and that'll allow her to start kind of just taking charge of her life and kind of guiding it in a direction that can kind of keep her on a good path. Um, do. But yeah, Akeisha, like, she came right in, talk about a small brunch, doing this, doing that, and then when Latrice walked in, Marie's face twisted up to the sky. I was like, oh my God, if she doesn't bring her nose down, she might drown if it starts to rain. I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm not gonna lie though, at first it was a little funny with Marie and the whole theatrics. Talk about some I need more water. She was guzzling down cups and cups, open glasses and glasses of water. I was like, I cannot, I cannot. Akeisha came in looking for something to complain about. Like she was the health inspector. I know, right? Like I was like, oh my God, is this P Valley? Like, what's going on? Oh my God, she's about to shut it down. So Marie's like twisted up. She's, just not having a good time now that Latrice is in the building. And then they break to eat. And this is when we get some more insults and just kind of just Akeisha looking down on the whole situation. Will I eat off of some dirty plates? Like, no, like I'm not gonna like voluntarily eat off of a dirty plate if I can get a clean one. Of course not. But she was like in like this big ass deal, bro. And it's just like all you gotta do is kind of pull like um Letitia to the side or kind of just, oh, okay, like she could have just said, I'm sorry, my mom just like texted me saying some what? I'm about to call her after this. This woman. um, but yes, Marie's whole face was cracked, had me rolling for it. I was like, oh my, like that between that and the continuous glasses of water, I was like, oh my God, oh my goodness. But Akeisha was being all bougie, like she was making the hugest deal about these dirty plates, talking about some. Do I need to go speak? Do I need to speak to the manager? Like, no, like, and I'm glad, like for the most part, Letitia handled that part better than I would have. Am I the only person that noticed that her friend, she had some friends from Petra somewhere. One of them looked like Shaka Khan. I was like, oh, what's Shaka doing at the table? I'm sorry. She just, I was like, whoa, for a minute. Um, and so then everyone kind of notices the energy is off at the table, because this is kind of when Letitia and Akeisha kind of start going back and forth, and Marie kind of picked up on it because they started that one uppiness thing kind of started coming out. And so then Letitia shifts her focus to playing like this game where, it's supposed to be about, women's empowerment and stuff like that. So she's like, okay, let's play this game to kind of like uplift one another and trying to, where you go around the circle and kind of like say a compliment or something like that about everybody. And she says something and then she passes, the verbal baton over to Marie, and Marie's like, yeah, I plead the fifth. Like I refuse to, she basically refused to play. And then everybody's kind of like, what the F? Okay. Um, okay. And, um, it was like at this point, if I was Letitia, I would have kept it cute, but like moved right along past Marie and addressed it later. Like, just to protect my brand at the end of the day, especially because, at this point, you're like, she's 3 for 3 when it comes to brunches. Brunches being a disaster on this show. So in order for this not to be that, if I was her, I would have just been like, oh, okay, whatever, and I just skipped past her. I would have been boiling underneath, but I wouldn't have even gave her the satisfaction of um getting under my skin with that whole thing. Akeisha with that, do I need to get the owner over here, was given real life care and behavior. Letitia is better than me. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, at that point, I would have been like, yeah, that would have solidified. If it hadn't been solidified before then, it would have been at this very moment, I would have been like, yeah, so this isn't gonna work. Like, I'm not, yeah, she's not getting invited to the next one because she's being way too uppity for me. But about this game, Marie's like, I can't fake it. And she just gets up and she storms off. And this is when all hell breaks loose. And I was just like, oh my God, Essie, get her. Which she actually did wind up getting up and going after her, of course. Um, and she kind of just makes it about being overwhelmed. Um, and Letitia's whole thing was like, I'm just not understanding because I just wanted her to stay because of Latrice, because Latrice also went after her, and they all wind up in the men's room. And she didn't want to say, because of Latrice. That's the real thing. Like, you're being overwhelmed by life and by this and by that and by this. And I'm just like, that wasn't, you had all those same overwhelming things going on in your life when you walk through the door. So just keep it funky. Just say it was because Latrice. Don't try to make it seem like, oh, I have all these other things going on, and then, Latrice also, like no, it was pretty much just Latrice. Like, because we know how you are, Marie. Like, you kind of always have all these things going on. So yeah. Um and then Letitia's whole thing is like, but I'm asking you to stay. Like, you're supposed to be supporting me. Like, I'm your friend. Like, this is about, like, kind of just telling her to basically grow up and just kind of ignore Latrice and ignore that whole thing. Like, because you're supposed to be here for me at the end of the day. And my whole thing is, and this is not me being like more on Latrice's side and not Marie's side or this or that, because I don't know these people from a can of paint, but I'm like, didn't Latrice kind of like disprove that last season that, she was a part of that whole like Kaylon thing and stuff like that, and like Kaylon was the ringleader of it. So it's just, again, like I was saying before, it's very sad that this woman who's not even on the show anymore, that caused a whole ruckus, you know, at this at an event in the last season, was able to just single-handedly like just fuck up everything between these two women. Like, it kind of sucks. And I forget what Sogishi said at this point, but she definitely had the right attitude. I was like, can we hurry up and get, some one-on-ones with her? Like, I want to see what she got going on, because I like her so far. Unlike Miss Akeisha. I would have just let Marie leave the place and would have called her later. You're embarrassing yourself, Marie. Couldn't even fake for Letitia. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would have just kept it cute. But, oh, okay, I'll see you later. Like, especially at this point in my life, like, I'm finally like at a point in my life where I have actively worked on getting to a point where I can recognize things that are going to trigger me, piss me off, send me on the wrong, road, so I can be all messed up in my head and stuff like that. Like, no, I know those things at this point. Therefore, I'm not going to entertain them. I'm going to continue to minimize the irritations and all those types of things to continue to protect my peace. And I think that's what Letitia needed to do in this point, that at this point in the brunch, because it became all about Marie, just like last season when everyone gave all the attention to Kaylon and that whole thing, and it became the Kaylon brunch. Like, it's mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I'm like, now at this point, no one's even going to want to come to your brunches. Latrice ain't thinking about you, Marie, so don't think about her as well. Exactly, but Latrice was kind of like carrying on a little bit in the confessionals and at the table when she got behind the table. I was dying. I low key was dying. It was petty. It was kind of funny, but I was just like, y'all just don't need to even look in each other's direction right now. Like, just don't even be bothered with one another. So it's just best for the peace of the group. Just don't even be worried about one another. Um, and then once Letitia got up and Essie and Marie, and I don't know if this is before everybody else got up. You peep how Akeisha said, yeah, and now I'm stuck here with the Palahachi posse, Aunt Mel. Like, she was like, I'm like, so what's wrong with them being? I don't know this Kallahatchie place or whatever that Letitia's from, but when she said that, I was automatically like, see, that's what it is. Like, she came into this whole environment thinking that she was like kind of like better than somebody else, like, because whenever you have to throw out where somebody is from, or you have to separate yourself from another group or another person, um, based on where they're from or how they're brought up or this or their look. Like, once you have to add in that extra little like, that just tells me as a viewer that you think that you're better than them, or that you don't want to associate with those type of people, or whatever, because you think that you're just, there's a distinction between the two of you guys. And I didn't like that at all. That's when I really was like, you need to drop that. You need to drop that uh bougie bitch shit. I don't like that. I don't like that. It was like, it's the wrong type of bougie. Um so then, yeah, Letitia had went to the bathroom to check on Marie, and this is kind of when things got even worse, to the point that they're like literally yelling, and everybody's kind of at the table like, what is going on in there? And this is when Letitia's friends go and Tamara go, and everybody's kind of like, what is going on in there? And I was just like, see, like, and it's not me just throwing all the blame on Letitia or anything like that, but this is your event, so you got to continue to always make sure you're in control of it. And you could have kept that control by not responding and not going after Marie when she got up from the table. You should just let her have her own like little meltdown or whatever over there by herself. That's probably what she wanted. She probably wanted you to go after her and to make that a whole moment about her, because she just started just doing the most. Like, all she had to do was just, oh, Latrice here, okay, I'm gonna look over here, and just, she could have just kept it cute and just disregarded her completely. She should have pulled a Kenya. So they're all in the bathroom yelling all this stuff, and Marie says, she lost clients and patients and all this stuff behind, like, basically being like slandered, or Latrice apparently um coming after her brand and everything last season. She's trying to ruin it, she says. And I was kind of like, okay, Marie. And again, this is not me just trying to continue to jump on Marie, but when she said that, and I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong, but when she said that, I was low key like, well, didn't you kind of do something similar when on season 1, episode 1, when Letitia had her first brunch, when she came in there looking like a Lil Bo Peep, when she came in there and started jumping on Latrice, talking about some, this is your hair and this is poor quality, and look at this, and da da da, saying this in front of everybody. When she did that, I was like, wasn't that low key something that could have caused her to lose clients and stuff like that? Not, and this is not me saying that Latrice, was an active participant in trying to, sabotage and ruin Marie's brand. But I'm just kind of like, you're playing that card. But I'm like, she could also, if you're trying to play that card, she could kind of technically play the same card, because you kind of did something that could, discredit her as, a businesswoman as well from the get. That's how you guys started. You kind of were the first person to throw a stone in y'all's relationship, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, I'm just here doing this review. um do, 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 do. So then Latrice and Essie start to talk a little bit, but that's when they're interrupted by Letitia, and she's trying to pull Latrice over there to talk to Marie in the bathroom. She's going to try to, be force speed like Miss Peacemaker. I don't think Marie didn't even care that she accidentally walked into the men's room, and producers are messing for keep pointing the camera at the men's restroom sign. Yeah, that's why the episode is named whatever in the men's room, whatever. Yeah, that was funny. That was really funny. I was like, yeah, these are definitely Carlos's producers. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, it was Letitia trying to play peacemaker for me. I was like, girl, like, you, for the sake of your event right now, the best thing you can do is let Marie go on about her business. You stay over here and continue to steer this back in a good direction, because you got people like Akeisha waiting to insult your event. So you can't do that to yourself. And I'm just like, at this point, she says something about them ruining brunches or something like that, and I'm like, girl, if they're known for ruining brunches, why do you keep inviting them then? If these two ladies, or this group, of somebody in this group is known for causing havoc at your events, why do you keep, inviting them? Ain't no friendship in the world, you know, worth going through that trouble every single time, especially when they know good and well how to behave, and that's not, something that type of energy you want to bring into your stuff and stuff like that. Like it's like, are you really my friend at the end of the day? If you're gonna, be Marie, honestly, she's been at the epicenter of all three of the things that happened at the brunch. Although I want to say the one with Kaylon, like that was not technically anything that had anything to really do with Marie. She kind of was just defending. She was doing that out of a defense. So I don't really blame that on her. But nevertheless, I'm just like, Marie was technically involved in all of the brunch fiascos for the past 2 seasons. Meanwhile, Latrice is just smiling away, but she loves the fact Marie is clearly bothered by her presence. Yeah, and that's what I meant. Like, she wasn't like actively participating in it, or like, was trying to really stir the pot for real, but she definitely was relishing in it. And that's why I'm saying, like, okay, girl, like, I feel like the true test of like, I don't see these haters, I don't even be bothered by that, and is really kind of just to completely not be phased by it, not even like to have a response to it at all, like meaning like not even like laughing, nothing, just kind of just be like just so unbothered by it that it can't make you happy or sad. You just are literally just so just done with it. But yeah, and that's kind of where the episode ends. We'll see, next week if Latrice and Marie actually have a successful conversation. It doesn't really look like it in the previews, because we see is it Marie? I think we see Marie storming off or whatever. I don't really think that anything was resolved. But like I said before, I really hope that they can, because quite honestly, it's all based off of something that was orchestrated by somebody who's not even on the show anymore. So why give her that satisfaction? If anything, y'all should be banded together, just hugging, smiling next to each other, so then she can be at the outside looking in, like, wow, look at this. I tried to bring this the whole thing down, and I couldn't even do that. Like, wow, like, then she'll have egg on her face. That's what you guys really should do, is band together on her ass. But what do I know? Um, but yeah, we'll be back for it next week. And we'll see what goes down with it. I don't have high hopes, but I'll let you guys, I'll let you know. I definitely will. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you stopping by. Don't forget to like the video. And yeah, I don't think I'll be back today with any more videos, but tomorrow I'll definitely be back with my video for Real Housewives of Atlanta, as well as P Valley. And we got to get into Love and Hip Hop tomorrow. So don't forget to hit that notifications bell, because then you'll know, every time I post. Letitia needs to lay off on the brunches for a while, because the vibes are not vibing every time she does one. Yeah, and I'm like, half of me is like, okay, I hope this is just happening for the show, but something tells me I don't know. Uh, it's still not a good look, regardless if it's for the show or not. It's not making anybody think highly of these brunches. So yeah, she needs to kind of focus on, like, take us in your office building or something, or you have other stuff to do. So whatever, do that. All right, Joseph. Yeah, definitely. I'll see you for P Valley. It was a really good episode, as I'm sure you probably know by now, and we're gonna get into it. But I appreciate you hanging with me today for both these videos. I truly do. It really meant a lot to me, and I definitely will see you in the next one. But all right, y'all. I'll catch you later. Mm-mm-mm.